Morning, everybody. Formal and thank you and welcome to this morning session of Xpello training. I am so excited to just refresh everybody's minds and just to touch base. Also, what we've learned is some things you sometimes just have to look at a different angle, and that really helps us to share the information we have. Xpello's got value not just for as agents, but for a landlord and even a tenant. And I think we sometimes forget that. To all the new agents that's coming aboard online and joining the business, good luck. Remember, persevere. Keep on working. It's not going to be easy, but the longer you go on and the more you learn, the better you get. If you look at some of the experts we have on here, I mean, Chantal, you've been in the industry for quite some time, hey? You know longer than you get on the block. And she does an amazing job because she's been doing it for such a long time. Kerry as well. I mean, Kerry's in this system so long, and she will tell you the first couple of months or years aren't easy. But the more you learn, if you invest in yourself, you will grow. Now, the good news is you are not alone, and Xpello is here, and we really take time to be with our agents. Because if you grow and prosper, so will we. So what are we gonna do today is we're gonna just have a look at what is Xpello, where do we fit in, and we're gonna address some of the questions we get. How do I offer this to my landlord? How do I fill it in without looking bad? All of those type of things we're gonna do. But of course, before we start, let me tell you who I am and who is Xpello. So firstly, I am the CEO of Xpello, and although I'm a qualified attorney, I have been focusing solely on Xpello since 2019. I have the pleasure of working with many attorneys, and having argued evictions, I know exactly what is needed. But I've also learned, working with so many agencies, there is a road in between agencies and attorneys, and that's what Xpello really fills. And it's super important. Xpello isn't the new kid on the block anymore. We're not very old, but we started in 2017. We're definitely going to have a huge party if the moment we are 10 years old. Just to say, they say save the date. Somewhere 2027, we're going to have a big party, people. And our focus is to take the fear out of property rentals. Now, you say to me, it is fear. Why fear? If you talk to a lot of agencies, many people don't want to touch rentals because they are scared. It's daunting. There's problems, and they want to stay away from that. Many owners are selling properties because they had a bad tenant. You want more investors. We want people to invest in South Africa. So that's what Xpello's vision is to take that fear away, that we have more investors, we have more property practitioners that can manage property professionally. Because I have to say this, yes, owners, you think you can do it yourself, but you are losing out. That's why you have amazing agents there to help you. Xpello has grown, and I have a couple of my amazing team members online here. We exist of a legal department, and as you know, our legal department has grown substantially. We've got a legal advisor, Wade, that's here. We've got Johan. Everybody loves Johan. I think he's the guy that most probably gets the most hugs and kisses from agents ever. So he is currently in Cape Town. So agents in Cape Town, he's there if you want to hug and kiss him. Not too much, okay? Then I have my awesome, amazing team from the client service department, Zelda and Lazan. Everybody tells me, yes, Elise, if we need something, if we've got a question, if we don't know how to load, vetting, they are on it. And they're always jumping in. We have accounts department, XT that's online as well. Yeah, numberings, and invoices. So his diligently is always amazing. I am not alone on this. There's his smile. Thank you, XTN. I am not alone on this management team. I have an amazing co-director, Armand. Now, if you haven't met him before, let me know if you want to meet him. It will change your world. There is a guy with so much energy, so much knowledge, and I'm honored to have such a cool co-director. So you have an amazing team. And because we have such an amazing team, we are nationwide. We work with agencies all over South Africa. We have properties all over South Africa. We have grown in places like Polokwane, Witbank, Bloemfontein. I mean, we've always been the big house with Cape Town and Gauteng, but the growth has been substantial. And it's because the people are seeing the value. And I want to say the big question is no longer is whether you need it, is whether you're going to stay behind. Do you know how many owners we are getting that is insisting on Xpello and introducing it to your agencies? And I think as an agent, one of the things you definitely want is to be on the forefront. You want to be the one that tells your owners about stuff instead of your owners telling you about things. So that's one of the things I always say is Xpello is an option. It's not a sell, but you need to tell your owners what is available because that shows them that you know what's going on. You're not just there for the sale or the quick buck or, to get that money. So that is super, super important. We also, our panel of attorneys has been growing substantially. It feels to me, I make a slide and then we add more and we're always in the back foot. So just to say, we've got currently, my slide is saying 12. We actually increased recently again to 14. And we're getting the specialist attorneys in our real life events. I have some of these attorneys at the events that you can meet them, see what they offer. The reason why we have different panel attorneys is because of personalities. I mean, sometimes you just click with someone, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want a Sandton attorney, maybe you want a non-Sandton attorney. I'm not picking on the Sandton people. They're all amazing people. I just want to say. But so personalities also, it keeps them on standard. So because they know that we are at all times measuring our attorneys. It's not about the win. It is about type of communication, feedback, processes, quality. And that's for that reason, we still have 100% success rate. So that is why our panel attorneys are super important to us. If you want to go see who's on our panel, please go have a look on our website and you'll get all of them there. I think we still have to update the few new ones. But if you ever have a question, also ask Wade all you want. We need an attorney in that area. Can you guys refer us? Is there somebody that can help us? And I think that is the backing that you really want. Now let's jump into Xpello. And Xpello services and benefits is something that you have to believe in. If you see the value and you see what it can give your owners, I see this with Kerry. I'm going to mention your team. Your agency is one of the top 10 together with RealNet that offers it to their landlords aggressively. And they do that because they believe in it and they've seen the value. Now, Xpello's first thing, the first service that we offer is we're an eviction prevention service. Why am I saying eviction prevention? We get involved early enough to see that what we can do to prevent the eviction. And what this includes is our team doing the necessary negotiations. And if it needs to be, we have offered tenants money to vacate. We have helped them to find alternative accommodation. If they need a moving truck, we will arrange a moving truck for them. We will do anything legal and reasonable to get this tenant to vacate voluntarily to prevent the eviction. The reason for this is, although we have the best attorneys, it's like a Ferrari, né? Ferrari can go super fast. But if you're stuck in traffic, that Ferrari and the Beetle's going to go at the same pace. So we try to firstly prevent going the legal route to save time. Our first objective is to be what is the best benefit for the landlord and what is the how can we minimize the prejudice being suffered, the damages being suffered. So if we can get them to vacate voluntarily, then they're out quicker and we don't have to wait the time period it takes to do an eviction. This will only be of value if you know how long an eviction takes. An eviction can take anything from 3 to 8 to 12 months. Okay, it depends on the time of year, depends on which province, and it depends on whether it's opposed or unopposed. Just to say what I mean by opposed, it means you started your eviction process and the tenant is opposing it. He says, no, you can't evict me. They don't have to have a valid reason. They have to say, you can't evict me because I don't want to move. I like staying here for free. I think everybody would like to stay free, né? But the thing is they've done enough to oppose the process. That can cause a delay because then it's a different process. So to see the value that at least they try to prevent this the legal way, which will not prejudice your eviction. I know there's a lot of people that takes down doors, moves in, put, I don't know, cut the water, stop access. Guys, that's all illegal. New agents, it's illegal. You can't do that. And it's going to prejudice if it goes legal. What do I mean? So when you, I had the privilege of doing a judge's course one time, and you don't know this landlord and you don't know this tenant. So the only thing you have is in front of you. Now imagine you see the landlord saying, I'm the owner, he's not paying my rent, I want to evict him. The tenant comes back and says, yeah, he cut the electricity in the water, and my kids went, they got dehydrated, and my dog almost died, and they did all of these bad things. You automatically create they feel pity for the tenant. So you really don't want to do anything to change it. You want the landlord to be the person that needs the benefit. And I think that is super important. So let us do it on a legal way to try and prevent the evictions. Then, if we cannot, so just to say, so we have a 98% success rate to get tenants to pay up or vacate. If they don't cooperate and we see it's a deadlock and it's going to start wasting time, then we will proceed with the eviction and we will pay all the legal fees. That means there's no cap. There's no, we don't change anything. That's everything that to get that eviction order. Again, maybe you don't see the value if you don't know how much an eviction costs. So an eviction can cost anything between 30 and 80,000 rand. Again, depending on your province, your attorney, or anything. And attorneys are grudge buy. They want the deposit before they start. So if you have that money, yes, sure, you don't need Xpello. But most landlords, if they're not receiving their rent, they have to pay the bond, and now they have to pay an attorney. It becomes very difficult. And we're going to go, I want to show you what happens if they don't have Xpello. So we pay absolutely everything to get you that eviction order. Amazing, eh? I love Chantal's amazing face. Eh? That reaction button helps me. Thank you. It energizes me. So that's the first benefit. So we prevent the eviction, we pay the whole eviction. And then the third thing that's almost the best value as well is our owners don't have to meet with attorneys. They don't have to go to court. I know in the old days, it was always nice. You go to the attorney's office, it's very fancy. They give you a cappuccino and you speak to this person in a suit. The problem is you pay for that cappuccino, and I'm quite sure you don't want to pay 2,000 Rand an hour to talk about dikkies and daikies, eh? That small stuff, small talk. You don't want to do that. So the nice part is we get the information from the attorneys, we give them the instructions, we draft, make sure everything is drafted correctly. And we give you feedback. The second most complaint we have about attorneys, the first one is they're expensive. The second one is that they don't give feedback. Now, in their defense, I've been an attorney for almost 18 years, and they train you how to do legal work. They don't train you how to do everything like Mr. Delivery. As you take a step, you give feedback. Plus, if they give feedback, they're charging for that feedback. So they need to sound clever. So, for example, they will say, the matter is not opposed. We will proceed to place the ex parte application to authorize the 4-2 notice. Now they can charge 200 Rand for that very impressive email. It sounds impressive and everything. But what we found is it leaves the owners frustrated. It leaves the owners upset because it's an emotional process and you don't understand what's going on. And it makes you feel, I almost want to say dumb. And I know this is very big things that I'm saying here, but if you think about it, and an example is, I was busy a part of a transfer, and I am not a conveyancer. Listen, my knowledge about transfers are very limited. And the one thing that the secretary sent an email, she knows that I'm an attorney, and she went and she said, "Hello, your matter is on level 1." And I was looking at this email and I was thinking, is this how my clients sometimes feel when I give feedback? Because I know exactly what's going on. This attorney thinks I know what's going on. So, of course, I did the reasonable thing and I replied, are we playing Mario Brothers? How many levels are there? When should I start getting excited? Please put it in context. Please put it in a level that we understand. And that is what Xpello does. So our feedback is on a level that everybody understands, everybody can follow, and the owners can ask us questions. We're not going to charge them for those questions. The other awesome thing is everything we do is on our online portal. So there's transparency. You log in, you get the details, and every time an update is made, it's emailed to you and to your owner. So everybody knows what's going on. So feedback, that's what we make sure everybody knows what's going on at all the times. Now that even if I think that on its own is a lot of benefit, but we don't focus on the summons. We don't issue the summons because there's no guarantee that you ever get your money. But it's maybe good to start to at least get the judgment. So what we've done is all our panel attorneys will give a discounted rate of 15% on any legal work they do for our clients. So if they want to issue summons, if we did the eviction, I mean, they're going to save about 10,000 Rand because they don't have to read the file, they don't have to open a file, they don't, all those things they charge for, they're not going to charge for that. If they buy another property, they're going to get a discount. There's so many discounts and value from that. And I think also you have access to attorneys that has been vetted. It's got a record and a reference. I think that is very valuable, especially in these days that there's a lot of attorneys coming up and is available. And sometimes it feels to me landlords pick attorneys like they hippo it. Ne? You can't go to the cheapest attorney. You need to go with the attorney that knows how to do an eviction. Except if you want to use your case to teach them. I mean, that's nice. That's very nice. So on the reaction buttons, what do you guys, are you seeing the value? Are you happy? Is there any questions? Let's see. Anything? It seems we are all happiness. I can even take a sip of water. Okay. So there's the benefits for the landlord. Now the question is, how do you offer, when do you talk about this? And the ideal thing is, and I have to say, like RealNet has gone and they put the offering in their mandate. And we say to agents, let us help us and put it in your mandate. The reason being is when you discuss all the things that you are offering to your landlord, it is there so you won't forget it. And it also explains it. So if you need a little crypt note, just to say what is Xpello's offering, it is in there. The landlord can then, from your mandate already, indicate from the onset, yes, I want Xpello, and it can be deducted from the rent collected. So that helps with the admin. If your office doesn't want to incorporate in the mandate, please let us know. We will give you an addendum. It's in a Word format. You can put your letterhead on it. You can make it. You can customize it to your sense. If you want to incorporate into your mandate, please speak to me. Let me help it that it at least makes sense. It's not just a copy and paste. A contract is a bit more. Sometimes you just have to make sure it all follows and everything links up. The important thing is, remember, don't try and sell Xpello. That's not what we expect. We want you to offer it to your landlords. It is almost like if I go to a restaurant and I ate there and the service was great and the food was great, I am going to tell people about it because I want you to go and experience it. Same thing. If you have a landlord and you want to take care of that landlord, that's when you're going to say, listen, this solution is available. This is the value I see in it, and I would suggest you take it. The big question is, and I want to almost go to the next slide, is many people are saying to me, Elise, but how do I offer Xpello if I'm telling them I am the best rental agent? I do proper vetting. You must pick me. But now I want to tell you, okay, take Xpello. It's almost like saying, my dear husband, let's get married, but please sign the ANC contract quickly. So for in case we get divorced, that things are sorted. That's not the case. One has to firstly know, why do you do vetting and how you do vetting? If one does vetting, you investigate the history. You look at what has happened in the past. You can see what is the behavior. You can see what's the current status and all of that. Then, based on the history, you are going to pick the absolute best tenants for your landlord and say, landlord, from the history, this is why we're picking this tenant. He qualifies in terms of our criteria, and we are electing this person, and we suggest you take this person. However, what you know and I know is we cannot predict the future. Many unforeseen things happen in the future. This person that can be in a very good space, everything can lose their job without even him foreseeing this. You can have a husband and wife married in community of property. He's the breadwinner. He passes away. You have a wife and she doesn't know what to do in this process. Because of unforeseen things happening, I almost want to say COVID was the best example ever, because none of us saw that one coming. Xpello is there to make provision for the unforeseen. Now, yes, most, if you look at the payment rates, you're having 80–85% of paying tenants. But what if that landlord's tenant doesn't pay? Will that landlord be able to pay it? Don't you have an obligation to give them at least the option? If they don't select it, it's fine. I have a lot of agents, they phone me later on and say they selected it not to take it, now they want it, then you can't. But at least give them the option that they can make an informed decision. We've seen last year, we had an increase in evictions. And just to say quickly, it's not your very poor people. It's not your, we had evictions of tenants that was paying rent of 25,000 Rand. It was business people. It was people that everything went good and then it goes bad. But then if it goes bad, it goes terribly bad. They're forcing people. We're getting more and more people saying, well, I know the system is not just going to jump and evict me. So you do your best, because you know why they do this? It gives them time. So at least if something like this happens, let's protect your landlords. Let's keep your reputation intact. That is why you offer it. So when you speak to your landlord and you explain to them that the offering, keep that in mind while you're offering it. And when they sign the mandate, they go, no, I'm fine, I'm not going to take it. When you get the tenant, just canvass it again with your landlord. Also, just to check in again. Maybe they changed their minds. So that's an ideal time to speak to your landlords about Xpello. So where does Xpello fit in? Now, I love my pictures here. I thought it was very creative. So if you look at the bottom part, if there is no Xpello, you get the management, you manage the rental, you send out your letter of demands, and the normal process would be you send your SMSs and everything, then you get to a space which you have to cancel the lease. Then you see where this guy is falling down. This is where there's a problem. Because now, how many times have you told your landlord, okay, you have to go to a lawyer now. You need to instruct an attorney. I can't do anything more. Plus agents, how many months do you want to work for free? The moment you've cancelled the lease, your mandate is usually linked to a managed lease agreement. If you don't have a lease agreement, you have nothing to manage. So why will you continue sending invoices trying to collect money if you're never going to get paid? The second thing is the clients here, they fall because they don't have the money to instruct an attorney. They don't have the funds, or maybe they're hopeful. They would rather put more pressure on you than proceeding the process. And this is where the delay comes. And sometimes I've seen up to 6 months before they actually start the legal process. This is not helpful. So what do? You manage the process, but the moment the matter becomes a breach matter, we take over the process, and the whole process becomes a flow. There's no stop. Xpello is the bridge between the cancellation, because we take part of that already, and we run with the whole process seamlessly. No need to stop. No need to go, do you have money? Do you have an attorney? Have you done this? No. So our agents are happy, our landlords are happy, and we can run with the whole process. Are there any questions?
Yes, Elise, there's a question from Corinne. She asked, what about on a procurement lease only, not managed? If it's not managed.
Corinne, the good news is, yes, you can still refer them to Xpello. So how that will work is, because you do the vetting and everything, you will know what is the criteria of Xpello. Then what you will do is you'll email applications at xpello.co.za. We're going to drop that email address out, please, in the chat. And you will say, yes, the lease agreement, yes, the vetting documents, there is affordability. It's only a procurement. Please take it further with the landlord. We will then speak to the landlord, and we will then get them to sign up with a debit order. The nice thing is, we are going to load it onto the portal, and we're going to show it as a procurement on your side. So you can see that this owner has been referred to us. And you will not lose that lead. Also, what is nice is, if anything ever happens, we will refer them back to you and say, hi, it's time for a new tenant, or listen, the owner has decided it's better that you manage it. Because, for example, we don't send letter of demands. We tell them that's a management function. And sometimes, many times, agents don't always, or owners think they can do it better themselves, and we just remind them they can't. So yes, you can send procurement to us, and you don't lose that thing. Now, yes, I like the hand. Chantal, what's the question? Or was that just a high five? Yes, I'm putting you on the spot now, hey? You guys are more than welcome to ask a question. Yes, Chantal.
It was just a high five.
Okay, cool. I love it. Okay, so you know what's the value, you know where we fit in, how to offer it to your landlord. But the big question is, which matters will qualify for Xpello? Yes, we do not just take everyone. And I think that is super important. And that's why we work very closely with our agents. Firstly, we rely on you to do the vetting. We're not the experts on that field. You are the experts. We expect you to look at the bank statements. We expect you to verify the employment. We want you to have a look at the credit score. Now, just to say on the credit score, that lady that's pushing it, into the good, what is important is that affordability is almost the most important thing for us. So we need you, after you've done your vetting, to be able to confirm and say, I confirm from the vetting I've done, I'm comfortable this person can afford the rental. Now, the nice thing is, and I'm not being sponsored by TPN at all, is just I have seen their reports. They have an indicator whether somebody's got affordability or not. And it's based on the data that you put in. We don't just follow it blindly. My team is absolutely amazing, and they will ask questions if they have questions. But they ask you to go and have a look on that. Then, so if you look at the credit score, we do consider medium to high risk tenants. And I'll tell you why. We will consider medium to high risk tenants because, for example, people that's under debt review who can afford the rental, we've seen actually performs very well because they've shown commitment and their behavior is very positive. If there's a lot of young people coming into the system, and the thing is, they just don't have any credit records. They have no accounts, nothing, so their score is very low. Also with foreigners, their credit scores, the credit report alone will not be good. But we will consider them based on the bank statements, the employment, and the history. If we have a look at a report, and this is again why I like the TPN report, because remember, a lease agreement is not a credit agreement. So late payments or non-payments is not going to show on clear score, for example, or Experian, because it's not a credit agreement. TPN specifically keeps those records because it's focused on the tenants. If we see somebody forever pays late, that is a high risk tenant to me. If somebody forever skips, they say pay 3 months, skip 1, it's almost like nothing. That's a high risk tenant. We're not going to consider them. If you defaulted in your rent, I'm not talking about people that didn't take a payment holiday during COVID, because let's face it, that was often sold very wrongly. So people didn't know what is going to have the effect. So we can sort that out. That is the things we need to know. The other thing that's important to us is whether they moved around a lot.
So basically what Elise said is this is the most important documents we need when applying for Xpello. So we will need the lease agreement and the rental statement. So the lease agreement is only when it's a new tenant. Then we need the TPN as Elise asked. And the most important with the lease agreement, when you send it to us, please make sure the tenant has signed the lease agreement. We cannot accept the application if there's no signature, especially the tenant. I know sometimes it takes a bit longer for the owner to sign, so that is fine. You can still send that document as long as the tenant has signed. Please, that is so important. Otherwise, if the document is not signed, then we cannot accept. I just quickly want to join. And then the rental statement, please make sure, like Elise said, we need at least the last 3 months of the rental statement, showing that they are good tenants. They're paying every time on the first or the second or whatever the arrangement was. If you know the tenant can only make payment on the 5th of every month, please do not make it on the lease agreement on the 1st, since you know they're going to make late payments. And that also have an influence on the credit report.
Yes, Isala, you've been a rock star. Thank you very much. So just for everyone, we are not going to share this recording because it will be super embarrassing. We will do a nice one where I'm not coughing. I think I'll tell my team for my birthday I need halls, okay?
We'll do that.
Thank you, Zelda. So just to recap, so on a new lease agreement, if it's at the onset from the lease agreement, we need the lease agreement and the credit report. And there's always the 3 questions that they'll need you to confirm. Are you satisfied with affordability? Are you satisfied that there's no signs this person has been a delinquent tenant? And what I mean by that is, you know, the guy that's pitching up with a suitcase full of money. That is the thing that sometimes can be a danger sign, or somebody that's so smooth. I mean, he pitch up, he's ready to move in the next hour. Ne? He's on right with his furniture. Guys, that's a warning sign. Stay away. Stay away. Then the second thing is you can offer Xpello to your existing landlords. So while it's in the beginning of the year and you're going, hello, happy new year. We are not just speaking to you when I want money. It's just to build the relationship. You can actually then say to them, if the tenant hasn't breached in the past 3 months and there's no pending dispute, they will automatically qualify. And the only thing we need is the lease agreement, the rental statement, and a confirmation that there's no pending dispute. Easy peasy. Okay. So is there any questions on what we need? If you have, please, you guys can email me or email app. You know what's amazing? If you email applications or bridge, it goes into our ticketing system and our whole team that in that department sees that ticket. So that means everybody will jump and answer you as quickly as possible. So that's why I'm not giving Zelda or Lizanne's or somebody's email address or Johan's specifically. Email, if you've got any client services questions, email applications. If you have got a legal question, if there's a breach, email breach, and my team will come to you. The people, the amazing part, self-built Xpello's online portal. So if you do these applications, you can actually go onto the system, you will be able to upload all of the applications on here. So as a business owner, even if you don't do the administration yourself, I do suggest that you register, because at the glance, I know it's a bit small here on the bottom, but at a glance, you will be able to see how many applications are pending, how many is registered with Xpello. You will be able to see if there's any active evictions or how many matters are in breach. It gives you at a glance as to what is the health of your book. The other part is, if you go onto the portal, we believe in transparency. All our systems will give you updates. You will see the copy of the letter of demand, the cancellation documents. You'll get the copy of, you know which court we're going to go to, the court date, and every note is made. You'll see there the note tells you who made the note, the date and time, and that note is then emailed to everyone. We want to work towards a future where it should be almost like Mr. Delivery. You want to have that feedback. If you on a Friday evening in panic suddenly go, oh, I forgot to ask somebody about that breach matter, you can log in and see what's going on. Please make sure that all the information is there and that you know what's going on. I just want to see, Corinne made a comment. What are important things to look at on the banks? Okay, let's start with Chantal. What's the important things to look on at the bank statements? This is a very good question. And I'm going to go back to it before I even proceed, because this is important. A bank statement is like a story. It's going to tell you firstly what is the type of person you're dealing with and what is the expenses. Make sure what is their fixed expenses, because technically the fixed expenses should actually come up on your credit report, but there's a lot of fixed expenses that's not credit agreements, like school fees. It's not a credit agreement. So go calculate on the past 3 months what is the fixed expenses. You can also double check his salary slip. Is the amount that is on his salary slip actually being paid into his bank account? Also, if you have a unit which is surrounded by pensioners, that wants rest, quiet, and everything, you're not going to lease it out to a person that frequently goes to the bottle store and teasers and goes partying, because what is going to happen? You're going to get a lot of complaints. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, what is the expending? Can they really afford it? So that's the things I really suggest that you have a look on the bank statements. We are going to have another session on vetting, most probably next month. So then we will go in more detail about the bank statements. Ensure they are not too overdrawn and transactions decline. You need a good, healthy end of month balance. Oh, that's a nice comment. Thank you, Corinne. I like the feedback on that. Okay, so online portal, guys, easy as that. You log in and you can register. Easy peasy registration, and it's free. There's no limit. So if you have 5 people that's going to work on the portal, let them all register under their own username. The reason why this is important is if somebody makes a note, What we see is, for example, admin is now making the notes. But it could have been any one of the 5. And maybe that note is super important. Now we don't, you know how it works. Who did this? Oh, nobody did this. Then the person is dead or they can't remember. So rather let them put their names and you know who's made the notes. Also, there might be, because I like options, then we want options. Maybe you don't want everybody in your team to go onto the portal, but you don't want to do all of the admin. So then we have this link available. So this is a Google Chrome link. You put the link, I say you bookmark it, and every time you want to complete, you complete this whole form. The agent that's dealing with it, we will set it up that once it's completed, it goes to the agent who completed it. It will go to the manager and it will come to our office. Okay, so you have it in threefold. Admin, it takes some of the pressure off you, that you don't have to do all of the admin. So it is helpful. And all of that gets captured, will go onto the portal. So you don't have to copy and paste it. So this is also a very nice link. Some offices I know, they have various people dealing with it. And then you just have a core admin team. And I think this really helps for this type of link to work. Of course, the third option is email everything to applications and they will do it for you. Nee? So send it to them in a structured way. Please, it will, if you email them the lease agreement, the credit report, and you already somebody address the questions. I love it. This one agency, they almost say they can afford it, there's no problems, or there was an issue, but it was sorted. They somehow answer our questions because then they know we will accept them. We will not accept people where the tenants are already in default. The owner can't wait until there's a problem to contact us. People, that's the big thing. We've been focusing a lot on the benefits for the agency, how to sign up. And I sort of want to end up for the agent. Agent, what can we offer you? Xpello is there to serve our agents. And we are there to give you guys, we will give you support and training. If you tell us, Liz, we need training on this. We've got extensive experience in lease agreements, bridge process, vetting process, because that's what Xpello has a direct impact on us. If we can't give you that training, I will reach out to my panel of attorneys and we will make sure you get that training. We have also, one of the gifts I'm giving away for my birthday is we are giving membership away for 2 months with the Rental Sphere Club. Now, that's also a training club, it's something else from a different avenue, but I do see people having benefit from it, especially the smaller agencies that don't always, sometimes you guys are a bit alone. And when you're alone, you sometimes just need that soundboard. So we're giving that away today. Zala's going to do a lucky draw going, woo, and then, oh, it even belongs to Sean's Rental Sphere Club. Huh? Then you must tell Sean, hey, I did a good marketing for him. But it's not, it's just because I see the value. So we're giving 2-month membership away for his club, which I think is going to be amazing. The other thing is we will supply you with that clauses. We'll give you the addendum to the mandate. We'll give you suggested letters that you can share with your owners to introduce Xpello. We will give you marketing pamphlets with your logo on. Tell us what you need and we are there to support. That is our role. We want to save you time. Rental agents, I'm quite sure you become a rental agent, not because you love phoning people asking for them to pay the rent. You want to speak to landlords. You want tenants to help them find their dream homes. It's even better than being a sales agent because you have a long-term commitment with people. You help them with the process. You want to go do inspections. You want to help them solving the maintenance issues. Let us take that away. We step in quite early. The moment that letter of demand goes out, it gets CC to Xpello and we step in. We take away all of that time that you are using to follow up with tenants. To take that abuse, you can use more productively. Our portal is there. It's an easy online portal. It's not an impressive, it's not like your accounting systems or anything. The purpose is to give feedback, to be able to load and cancel. That's the purpose of it and make it easy. Our fee, because that's one of the questions that didn't come up as yet. Xpello, if you go look at our monthly fee for residential properties, 250 Rand inclusive of that. People, that's next to nothing. If you consider an eviction is going to cost you 30 to 80,000 Rand. 250 Rand per month per lease agreement. And that is what you're going to tell your landlords that you will be deducting. Xpello, however, offered our agencies the opportunity to resell Xpello. So you can actually earn an income from every landlord that signs up with us. To get more information about that, please connect with me, speak to me, and I will tell you how that works. But considering that your landlord is only going to pay 250 Rand and you are able to generate a recurring income over and above the benefits, I do hope that you see the value. I want to say, please, if you've got any questions, you're welcome to unmute. You're welcome to pop it in the chat, even if it's you don't want everybody to know your question. You're welcome to do me send a private message. And while Zala is calculating who's the lucky winner today, I want to say to you, speak to us, be in the forefront, be the change that the owners need to give them that peace of mind. You can scan this. It gives you access to that little video we showed in the beginning. Like I said, considering that I had a bit of a coughing session, we will redo this training video. Then I will make it available to everyone that you can share with your team members. Please remember, if you have a group, speak to me, myself, or Armand will come to your offices and we'll give you guys the training you need. I want to say thank you from each and every one. Zelda, I'm so glad you showed your face, ne? Should I stop sharing my screen or are you just going to announce it?
No, you can stop. I've got a nice little poster on my side. So I just want to say it was a quick draw, and the winner for today is going to be Kirshni Shaitu. Do I saying it correct?
Yes.
Can you
correct.
see my poster, everyone?
Yes, I can see. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. I'm just going to ask, I'm going to give you my information. Just please send me all your information that I'm going to ask, and then we can arrange for you the
No problem.
prize. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I love it. So everyone, we are looking forward to be of service, and we want to say thank you to each and everyone attending the session. I know you are super busy. Please look out. Please go save Elise at xpello.co.za to make sure you do receive our monthly newsletters. We are going to announce the trainings we are going to give in the venues that everybody, if you're in the area, that you can come through and that you can join us on that day. I love meeting all of you. Please be safe and thank you for your time.